2, 3, 4.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Beatles Come to America. We are just kind of cleaning out our vaults a little. It seems like the Beatles are doing it. Why can't we do it too? We already finished our show. It's the Beatles Come to America, where we basically go through all the U.S. albums. We're celebrating the 60th year of the Beatles coming to America. So that's pretty awesome too. And Brooke has been a musician all his life. And also he's the Beatle Guru. It's a really busy year for him. He is red carpeting left and right. So we booked this and we were hoping that he was free. And he is, and he has something to share with us, a little vault cleaning that he found and we want to share with you. Welcome, Brooke Halpin, the Beatle Guru. How are you?
I'm great, Tom. Thank you. How are you doing?
Good. I know I got seconds on you. You're always busy. And so...
No worries. Not too busy for you, Tom.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So what do you have for us today? What's going on?
Well, it wasn't 60 years ago. It was, 1971. In 1970, I was a recording artist at Phil Ramone's recording company in New York called A&R Recording. Phil created a recording studio at which Paul McCartney did part of Ram there with the New York Philharmonic, and Paul Simon and many, many huge acts. So I was very fortunate to have a recording contract with him in 1970. I had a band then called 4 O'Clock, and we recorded at A&R, and Phil mixed part of the album, and Mr. Messina, Jay Messina, he also mixed the other part of the album. I don't want to go into the details about that, but the point is that the album, unfortunately, wasn't released until 2002. So it's out there, but you have to look for it. It's just simply called 4 O'Clock, the number 4. The band broke up, and I went out to Los Angeles the end of 1970. And I always write songs. And, back then I was prolific as I am now, thank God. So I wrote, a bunch of songs, and I went to Hollywood. I saw something about looking for singer-songwriter on a billboard or something, So I had the 4 O'Clock album from A&R with me. So I walked into this place and spoke to the secretary. I didn't have an appointment, I just walked in and she goes, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, well, I'd like to see Michael Gordon. I saw something. He's looking for singer-songwriter songs. You have an appointment?" "No, I don't, but I've got this," and I handed her the A&R recording. And, hang on one second. Because of the A&R recording, Michael took me right into his office. I mean, that's how impressive A&R was back then. But anyhow, I walk in and, I meet Michael Gordon, and he puts the disc on, he plays the disc, and he goes, "Wow, yeah, this is really good." He said, "Do you have a band?" I said, "No, I don't have a band." He says, "Well, do you have any new songs?" I said, "Yeah, I write songs all the time." So he said, "Well, why don't you come back in a couple of days with your new songs and I'll give him a listen." So I did that, and I came back to see him, and he loved the song so much. One of them was called "Give Me a Reason." So he was very impressed, and he said, "Listen, I'm going to book you in a recording studio in Hollywood right here." I said, "Oh, great." He says, "Because you don't have a band, I'll bring in a drummer, and I'll bring in a bass player." And wow, no cost to me. He was doing this because he liked my songs. So I did that. And being the impatient self that I am, I was waiting to hear from him, like a week would go by, 2 weeks ago. "Hey, Mike, what's going on?" "Working on it." I'm living now in Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach. "Hey, Mike, what's going on?" "Oh, working on it. Hang in there, working on it. Da, 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 da. So finally, February, March comes around. I was taking music classes at El Camino College for something to do, and I've taken harpsichord lessons and organ lessons and things like that. And so I would go in and I would play the harpsichord and organ, and I would write songs on the harpsichord, which was really cool. So I wrote a bunch of new songs around that time period, which would be the beginning of 71. And then I heard Layla on the radio for the first time by Derek and the Dominoes. And I can't quite explain this, but I heard that song and I went, oh, I got to go back to Connecticut. Because it was about Layla, please don't tell me all my love's in vain. I had been married in 1970 and it was a disaster. And it ended terribly. And I felt as though that song was a message for me to go back and try to get back together with my wife. I went back. I had all these new songs. And I heard about this new recording studio in East Hartford, Connecticut. So I went over there and met the guy. His name was Doug Clark. And I played him the A&R album, of course. And I think I played him the tape that I did in Hollywood with Michael Gordon, too. And he said, oh, yeah, you got some great stuff. He says, do you have any new songs? I said, yeah, I've got a bunch of new songs. He says, well, I just finished building this new recording studio, and no one's recorded here yet. And I need to kind of break it in. And if you don't mind, you could record here. And that way I'll be able to break it in, so to speak. I said, oh, that sounds great. So, what's it going to cost? He says, no, you don't have to pay me anything. It's just like a gift from God, So I went in, and because I did not have a band, I played all the instruments. I laid down the piano, bass, drums, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, 12-string acoustic guitar, did the lead vocals, did the background vocals. And these are the 6 songs. I call them the 6 songs. After I did the recording, I ended up with another band in Connecticut. So I kind of put these songs aside, and I was writing new songs for the new band. And we went to New York. We went back to A&R, and we recorded 3 songs summer of 1971. Actually, we were in A&R when George Harrison was performing the concert for Bangladesh at Madison Square Garden. So I forgot about the songs because I had 6 more, 10 more, whatever, writing new songs all the time. And you just kind of go on to the new thing and you forget sometimes about what you've done before. So I forgot about the songs. Years went by and I would think about them periodically and I thought, oh, gee, I remember I did that. Yeah, I wonder where they are. And I didn't know where they were. I found an acetate of the 6 songs, again, like a test pressing, that I had in my LP collection, my vinyls. And I put it on like maybe, 3 months ago, I guess it was. And I went, oh, wow, I think this is some pretty damn good stuff that needs to be heard. Why not? I couldn't do anything with the acetate because it was played it so many times back in 71 that it was pops and cracks and skips. And it was a mess. So I said, I'll have to find the tape. Well, where's the tape? I don't know where the tape is. I've got boxes and boxes of tapes, 1/4-inch tapes, from things I've recorded for decades.
Yeah.
And then I saw that I have this old metal trunk that I've been lugging around. I've been lugging it around, from Connecticut to California, back to Connecticut. It ended up in my garage where I'm currently living. I said, well, let's see what's in here. So I opened it up and I saw a 1-inch tape, not the 1/4-inch tape, but the 1-inch tape box. And on the side, it said Brooke 571, which is May 1971. I went, oh, my God, this must be the tape of the 6 songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some research, and I found out that there's a company in Burbank that they can do a digital transfer. In other words, they could take the 1-inch audio tape and they could transfer it to MP3s or waveforms. I said, wow. So I brought it in and they did the transfer. And then I listened to I had the individual tracks available now, right? 8 tracks per song that I had done, but they were not mixed, right? I thought, wow, this is really exciting. So I did new mixes on the songs. These are the 6 songs that are now available. They're on Spotify. They're on Amazon Music. They're everywhere. So anyone who wants to hear the 6 songs, I highly encourage you to do so. I am happy to say that I got a very positive music review from the Music Connection magazine. They singled out one of my songs that said this one song, Self-Indulgence, sounds like it could have been on the Beatles' White Album. Whoa! So that one in particular is quite Beatle-y, I'd have to say. The others, you could hear the influences, here and there. But, obviously I was in 71. I mean, I'd listen to George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, John Lennon's first solo album, The Plastic Ono Band, and McCartney's first album. So I was immersed in those sounds. And certainly, those sounds influenced me as a songwriter, no doubt. So when people listen to the 6 songs, they're going to hear where I'm coming from, back in 71. And they sound like classic rock songs because that's the sound that I was writing in. Back then, they didn't call it classic rock, But when you look back on it, it's part of the classic rock sound.
It's amazing that these 8 tracks, like per song that you mixed, that were so clean and so pristine. Oh, yeah. Because you can't tell that this was recorded in 1971.
No way.
Yeah. And also, if I gave my review to this, I was like, oh, you could sell these to like Jethro Tull or 10cc. They rock out a little harder than I think you're giving them, credit for. So I would say that they were 6 songs that could have been sold off, been big hits to other people. That's my opinion on this.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for that, Tom. Thank you. So you listen to the 6 songs. Do you have a favorite one at all by any chance?
My favorite line is under Self-Indulgent. Too much into Satan ain't good at all.
Yeah. I was very self-indulgent back in 71. I really was. I'll admit it. And so I wrote a song about that, and I kind of like telling myself, hey, Brooke, you got to stop what you're doing. This isn't good. This is not good, So I wrote that song for me. And
well, you're definitely a survivor. I mean, there's so many people that didn't make it, through that time period. And you're healthy and able to tell the story. It seemed to me they were all piano-based start, like instead of a guitar. And you had some funky bass on Dream On, Dream On. That was very Paul. I was like, okay, this is Paul. So I like that too. Yeah.
Oh, Dream On, Dream On, Dream On. Yeah, Dream On. Yeah.
More Dead, I was like, this is prog rock almost to me. This is progressive rock. This is in a space that hasn't really even started yet. Like, yes, Genesis haven't started, and you were already on something.
That's very true. Four More Dead in February, because I had studied classical music back in 68, 69, and then I quit the conservatory to be a rock and roll star with 4 O'Clock. But then when I was out here in Hermosa Beach and Redondo Beach, I went back to studying organ, harpsichord, and things like that, and music theory. So I was sort of, still had my classical leanings going on, mixed with pop and rock. And that's why at the beginning of Four More Dead in February, piano, the 12-string acoustic guitar sounds like a harpsichord the way I produced it and mixed it, a little triangle to ring the bell. Set the stage. Okay, well, what's going to happen next? And then slam, like, whoa, now we're into rock and pop, and I start singing, and of course the drums kick in and the bass kicks in. And the Four More Dead in February is quite interesting because back then it represented 4 things that were going on that were rather dead in my life. There was the Kent State. Remember the Kent State shootings, right?
Ohio.
I believe that was like late 70 maybe, or somewhere around there. So that had happened, and that sort of influenced the title. I mean, like, how many more dead is there going to be?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that song "Ohio" by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. How many dead? How many more dead? Their song "Ohio" is about that as well. So there was that. There was the fact that my band had broken up, so that was dead. And there was my marriage was dead. The fourth one was hopefully not me. So that's what the lyric is about. And if you listen to the lyrics, you'll hear that I'm hoping, that I'll make it through, basically, and I won't be the fourth one. Which was the song that Michael Gordon first liked, back in Hollywood. I played that for a couple of people, and they're like, Beatles.
Yeah,
oh,
definitely. Yeah.
Beatles. Oh, thank you. I guess especially the chorus, probably. And the bass line really rips on the chorus as well. That's Give Me a Reason, which I'm sure you heard as well. And the Old Red Wall is really, it's about change. It's about, it's time, it's okay, but it's okay. In other words, things aren't what they used to be anymore. You know, they're changing, but it's okay. It's time to change. And that lyric is timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be applied to any time period because there's always things going on that are changing, whether we like it or not. And most of us do not like change. So I'm kind of like saying, hey, listen, you know, things change and it's okay. It's time to change. And that's what that song is all about. Now, This Ain't the Girl is really a big number. You know, it starts off with kind of a chorus and a big introduction, and it goes into a solo piano, right? Sounds like what? What does it sound like? It sounds like Let It Be. I changed the chords, of course. They're not the same chords that Paul plays. But the tempo and the solo piano and the sound is very, very much influenced by the Beatles' Let It Be.
This ain't the girl that I used to love. This ain't the one that I'm thinking of. She went away, she'll done me wrong. My little girl, I wrote this song. This ain't the girl that I used to love. She went away and left me a long, long time ago. She left me standing in
This ain't the girl that I used to love. She's not the same anymore. She's not the girl that I thought I'd be together with for the rest of my life, So this ain't the girl. And it goes into a complete tempo change at the end. And at the end of that section, I'm kind of screaming. I don't know if you heard the scream I'm yelling and screaming at the end of the song. And of course, John Lennon, hello, on his first solo album, right, the Plastic Ono Band album. Yeah, he was screaming his guts out, because he was doing the Primal Scream. And so that kind of came in there, and I was kind of like screaming out and releasing my feelings and my emotions about the fact that, this ain't the girl that I used to love. So it's a big number, it's a pretty important song.
I will put the links of the songs on the YouTube page. If you are listening to this on my podcast, the Jazz, Blues, and R&B podcast, I'll put the links that you can listen to the songs also.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I appreciate you listening to the 6 songs.
Yeah. You can see you weren't in the best place, but boy, did you come out with some good music. You weren't super happy time period, but it recorded, 6 awesome songs.
Well, so, thank you. Thank you. Well, you're right. You're right about what you experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've always believed. You can create fantasy songs and all that, but these are truly written, from my heart about things that I was going through at the time. Very personal, very personal stuff. So I hope people enjoy listening to the 6 songs, as I say, available on all digital outlets. So whatever you subscribe to, check them out, give a listen. You can always reach me on Facebook. If anyone wants to send me a message, I'd be delighted to hear from anyone who listens to the 6 songs. That would be a pleasure.
It's the Beatle Guru. It's the deal where we book this months in advance because we can't guarantee that he's going to be available for this month. So this was kind of cool. We were talking about, like, you were like, oh, I got this discovery. I'm like, let's do a show about it. So, we talked about, I don't know, like almost a month to get to this point where we can have the time to talk to you. So it's great that we did. And I think people are going to be really excited about the songs. Hopefully they can, obviously, well, we all been through it. So people will relate to what you're saying. And
mm-hmm.
It's your jagged little pill. How's that? But
I guess it is, actually. Yeah.
All right. It's always great to talk to the Beatle Guru. We will talk soon, I hope.
We will, Tom. Thanks so much.
2,
Appreciate
3,
it.
3, 4.